that pitch, lock into it. 2, 3. Okay, today is the first day of Coda Symphonic Band rehearsal. So we all showed up at 10 o'clock and we separated, we took out, we're preparing for my piece Rumble, and it's a 15-minute piece with on-stage and off-stage instruments, and its inspiration was the Oklahoma earthquakes. And so I took out 11 brass players that also play whirly tubes, which you swing around your head and it makes these ominous tones. I worked on the Latin chanting with the group. Alan Mills has been with the full band, the rest of the band, and now we've finally just put it together the last hour of rehearsal here this morning. And we actually you probably have footage of the balconies here. And tomorrow we're going to be in Sharp Auditorium, so that's going to be another thing to adjust to, the distance, because right now it's all cramped into this one spot here, and we're going to need more distance tomorrow. Yeah, I knew from my experience with my daughter in Coda that they practice their parts before they get here. They're not sight reading, and
these are kids that want to be musicians.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're serious. I mean, these are the best kids in the whole metropolitan area. And music-wise, I mean, it was I think there was over 2,000 kids that auditioned for these groups. So it was challenging and difficult for them to get in. They have to practice hard, they have to work hard, and they just love this kind of thing. For one thing, they're missing a day of school, so they like that. And two, they love this experience, and they're playing with kids with their own ability level.
How did you discover the tone of those whirly tubes and know that it was something you wanted to do?
Well, I ordered some initially and just found out what sort of the common pitch was, and then I cut them down because they were a little bit flat, and so I made them into an A flat as the fundamental pitch. And then the way they work, it's using the overtone series, in physics, and anything you spin around and make, you could do it with a garden hose if you wanted. But there's certain pitches that come out. It's not perfectly in tune because it's natural intonation, but that's part of the beauty of it, is that it's even more haunting, that it's not quite in tune. Composers are inspired by things. And, I've gotten some comments from people about how could you be inspired by an earthquake? Well, everything inspires artists. And, people write requiem masses for the dead. People have written, Benjamin Britten wrote the War Requiem, showing, is that a political message? Maybe, probably. But it's a great masterpiece, it's a great work of art. And he's inspired by the war. And if we ignore bad things that are happening, it's not doing anybody any good. So I'm living in Oklahoma. There are earthquakes. There were like 70 last week. There's something like almost 1,000 this past year. So yeah, we're living with it, and I felt it. I feel it. And we had one last night, or early this morning, and that's coming out in the music. And I think that's what artists do. They react and respond to what's happening in their life. And this happens to be one thing that I'm using as inspiration.